Hello, greetings, and welcome everyone to the Money Flow Stock Market Review and Forecast. I'm your host, Dr. BJ Love, and I'll be bringing you this week's update. Here at Gibraltar, we use time-tested indicators and methods that helps us to navigate these markets with calmness, certainty, and confidence. Now, it was a wild week on Wall Street. Major averages in a volatile week mixed as of Friday, November the 14th, 2025. It was a bumpy ride for investors this week, with wild swings in equities, both higher and lower, that finally ended with the major averages mixed. Positive signs that the government would reopen this week kicked off a period with a powerful rally, with the NASDAQ surging 522.64 points, its biggest one-day gain since May. The Dow Jones Industrial Average reached a record high, climbing above 48K for the first time. The Dow Jones record was short-lived, however, as the Dow dropped 798 points, and the NASDAQ was down 536.10 points on Thursday. The major averages took another leg down at the Friday open. The different indexes finished mixed, leaving the NASDAQ down for a second straight week, while the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 were higher for a third week. Now, for the period, the Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 160 points and settled at 47,000. Pardon me, there is a typo there, and it closed at, around 47,000. The S&P 500 picked up 5 points and closed at 6,734. The NASDAQ lost 104 points, finishing at 22,901, while the Russell 2000 dropped 45 points and settled at 2,388. Now, the VIX slipped 0.17 points and closed at 19.83, as we reiterate on each one of these broadcasts. As long as the VIX stays below 50, the markets tend to grind higher in the intermediate term. Now, crude oil prices added $1.31 and closed at $60 a barrel. Gold prices dropped $106.90 and finished at $4,088.50 an ounce. Silver prices at the end of Friday was around $50.77 per ounce. Bitcoin closed the session at 94,375. And we're going to look at Bitcoin very closely, because for the past 6 weeks, it's just been falling, and we want to see where it stands in its long-term configuration. Now, the market outlook, the technical condition of the market deteriorated this week, and Brett, the heartbeat of the market, was negative. So let's jump right into these charts and see what's really happening, what meets the eye. As you can see, we're moving to our full grid. This is our long-term weekly chart that gives us a long-term status of the major indices that we follow in order to determine market posture. So we're going to begin with the S&P 500. We do have the S&P 500. We have Dow Jones Industrial Average. We have the NASDAQ, and we have the Russell 2000. But we're going to begin to maximize these windows so we can take a closer look. As you can see, we do still have a green background, which indicates that we are still in a bull market as of Friday. And it will this show that there should be a continuation of the uptrend, because our prices are above rising moving averages. And our cornerstone and our foundation here is, as these prices, each one of these price bars or candles represent 1 week of trading in the S&P 500 or on the weekly chart. And as you can see, for the past 3 weeks, it's beginning to fall just a little bit. We look at our confirming indicator, the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence, and it seems to be laminated. We have a green marker at 382.5, and we have our blue marker at 308. 85. Whoa, that shows now that we have a crossover where our blue line is higher than our green line, that this could be a top in the market and we can possibly see more downside. But as of now, we're still in a bull market with the green background. We're going to move on to the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And as you can see, we still have a green background indicating that we're still in a bull market. MACD has not given us an indication that this is a market top. We see that high that happened on last week, and we're still continuing to trade prices above these rising moving averages. So that's it for the Dow Jones Industrial. And now we take a look at the NASDAQ, and it's getting very, very close. We have that green background indicating that we're still in a long-term bull market. Remember, long-term trends dominate, short-term trends fluctuate. So with this dominant trend still being intact here, but we do now see a little bit of penetration through this gold line, which represents our 50-day moving average. This is our 10-week line, and this is our 40-week line. So, and we look at our MACD real quick. We're going to look at the numbers, and we see we'd like to see our blue line higher. So our blue line is actually reading 17,992, and our red line is reading 17,090. So it's so close, so close. Hasn't crossed over yet, but we're so close to a shift change in the long-term posture of the NASDAQ composite. We're going to look at the Russell. Now we see a different picture. The Russell still in the green background, still showing bullishness. However, for 1, 2, 3, this is the 4th week now, it has fallen, and now it is below a falling moving average. Now, the Russell usually is the canary in the mine, where it's giving you first warning that there is a major shift taking place right now. And on our MACD, we can clearly see that there is a shift in momentum on the long term. So we can look for more downside in the Russell 2000, and we'll see if that carries over to the other averages, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the NASDAQ. So we are at a turning point where we've enjoyed weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks of upside. Now it's starting to shift and correct just a little bit. So we'll wait, watch, and see what happens this coming week. Now, what's our takeaway? Our takeaway is caution. Be very, very cautious in the market right now. We have one major indices, the small cap Russell 2000, that has shifted in momentum toward a trend change, but we still have the other 3 indices in a bullish posture, if you will, but there are some changes taking place. So this is the beauty of this system. It lets us know, it gives us warning and confirmation as well, so we know where we stand. Very, very cautious at the door right now. So let's look at these other indices here, and we're going to look at what's going on with gold and silver and oil and Bitcoin. And as you can see, I want to use daily chart here. Yeah, let's use the daily chart. With the VIX, okay, we see that we're kind of moving up into that 20 range, letting us know that there is a shift happening on the horizon. It is not strong enough, doesn't have enough horsepower right now to really, really, what do you call it, extrapolate or to give us a firm direction yet with the VIX. Let's go on down and look at silver. Silver prices on the daily topped out at around $54 a few days ago, and now it's right around that 50 mark, and we can see some decline happening, some topping out. There might have been a blow off top, but we see that silver is changing its direction on the intermediate term. Let's look at gold. Excuse me. Gold definitely changing. We see a personality changes in one of our moving averages here. When it turns from green to yellow, that means it has stopped rising and starting to move sideways. That's gold. Let's look at oil real quick. It looks like it had started to change, oil / CL. And it's been down, 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 down. But however, it's been trying to make its way up. They got up to 60. However, it has a whole lot of headwind here with this inverse uh, moving averages, where it should be what we call a bull stack. This is a bear stack, and we don't have enough horsepower to sustain that upward move that we saw. All right, let's look at Bitcoin. And if you look at Bitcoin on a daily chart, it has been totally reversed and down and moving down even more. And if we go to our long-term weekly chart on Bitcoin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks down. So Bitcoin has reversed its trajectory into a long-term downtrend as of now. So we're going to wait, watch, and see how it bottoms out. So there you have it. We are in a neutral zone, if you will, with the major indices. And as you can see, the commodities, gold, silver, oil, and Bitcoin well, Bitcoin has changed its direction. It's in a long-term downtrend right now. Oil is in a long-term downtrend, trying to get back above that $60 a barrel range. However, it doesn't seem to have enough momentum to push it through. Gold and silver, the precious metals, are showing some topping action, moving sideways. And let's see if the relative strength has maintained. We're just going to look at one. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Okay, look at silver. Still maintaining relative strength. We'll look at gold. Still maintaining relative strength, just going through a minor pullback. So there you have it. Again, we're in the neutral zone. Got caution. The precious metals seem to be consolidating, moving sideways. Bitcoin is in a long-term downtrend. Oil is holding steady and trying to break through that $60 a barrel level. So there you have it. So as we always end the program here at the Money Flow Stock Market Review and Forecast, every day and every way we get better and better. Every day and every way we grow more prosperous, successful, and victorious. And God's love continues to surround us, enfold us, and enwraps us. And we go forth in perfect peace and ever increasing prosperity. God bless. All the best from the whole team here at Money Flow Stock Market Review and Forecast.